Okay, now we're in part two on this. I went back and watched my part one, and I don't think I'm very concise with it and go off a little too much, but that's okay. I do want you to watch Robert's original video here. It's called Celtic Origins, but still, I have a lot to add to it, definitely. But here to start the second part, we're going to take and show you what he says in his video about what was said about the ancient Druids and these people of old that are concerned in what we're talking about.
They did not leave behind a written record, so knowledge of the Druids comes from classical writers of their time, such as the Greeks and Romans, and they were compared to the Aryan Brahmins of India, the Pythagoreans of Greece, and the Chaldean astronomers of Babylon.
That's quite a cast to be balled into. You can definitely tell they had a lot of respect for it, especially in an age that we see full of propaganda. And if they feel like they can exploit something out of a people or call them barbarians because they won't learn Greek or whatever, they can lump some things on them. A lot of praise kind of was lumped onto these people. Chaldean astronomers, the Aryans of India. It's amazing. They say they know all about the stars and the cosmos, even the size of the cosmos and everything. They've got it all figured out. Makes you wonder, whenever they went and they tried to capture him, was this done under some kind of torture? Or did they just come and start talking to him and the guy just wouldn't shut up? Like what you'd think have happened if you busted in on Plato and you started talking something and you started philosophizing on what you're doing to him and things like that, or your mode of thinking. Let's continue here a little bit more and we'll get back into it.
Julius Caesar wrote that they, and I quote, know much about the stars and celestial motions, and about the size of the earth and universe, and about the essential nature of things, and about the powers and authority of the immortal gods. And these things they teach to their pupils. End quote. That said,
so something that they teach to their pupils, and it's stuff that all these other Aryan civilizations had developed to the point, and they're teaching it to their pupils too. It's kind of strange that there are those much connections, especially what we think we know, and we talk about the way England was and stuff, and they were kind of a last in line situation, but we showed up late, but we're finally here kind of situation, versus no, these were the people from all along, isn't it? It's showing here, the genetic connections are just incredible. We'll look at a few of those here coming up. But this idea of Stonehenge and all these other sites, really quite revealing once you get into it. But you know, there's other stone circles just like this, like the one at Duda El. There's even one called Adam's Calendar, and so on. And this would have all been set up by the same people.
there's surprisingly very little that is known about the ancient origins of the Druids, at least as far as academia is concerned. Turning to legend, let us start with one concerning how Scotland got its name. Scotta, in Irish mythology, is the name given in this version of the tale to the daughter of an Egyptian pharaoh around the time of the Exodus, who married someone named Goidel Glass and became the founder of the Scots and Gaels after being exiled from Egypt.
Her name was supposed to have been Mary Otten, which they dropped the Aten on her request. And so she was Mary. And she would have been the first Queen of Scots. So not the Mary Queen of Scots you think of normally, but the original. This is also written down in folklore and mythology, and people try to say that that's all that it is, that there's not any real connection. I mean, well, they show them this Stone of Destiny, all of these other different things that really start to add up. The Scottish Declaration of Independence talks about these types of things and so on. And honestly, there was too much piled up to actually omit or to deny coming into World War II. And after World War II happened, there's been a large degree of trying to hide any information like this, to not make any connectives, to try to seem very ambiguous about this, which is hilarious because we're supposed to be compounding on info on info on info, but because of that measure that was made there, people are already real certain about certain things, all of a sudden are now real ambiguous. Makes you think that they either do not know or they're taking the piss. So this happened at a time whenever supposedly something like they were threatened by their brother, something went down bad. People have actually equated it to the Akhenatons because she is Mary Otten, and Mary Otten's known, and that she was told to leave with her contingency, a large amount of boats. Got a video about this from probably 2.5, 3 years ago now, showing you an article that people are making connections to Thoth's journey in Thoth's storm is actually her actual journey there, where she arrived in a storm, it is said, and her name had turned into Little Flower, which is what Scotia means, because she didn't want to go with her formal name from Egypt, so it may have been a nickname like what was known to the Egyptians a lot of the way through it. They even have a grave we'll look at here in a moment. So many connections though. We're going to look at a genetic one too here shortly.
Now, Goidleglass was the grandson of a Scythian prince, one of 72 chieftains who allegedly built the Tower of Babel.
Okay, and it's 72 because of the declamations on the zodiac and time and everything and the way that goes. It's kind of the same reason there's 70 people in the Septuagint and its concept.